Hi, I'm Dewey from Durian Island, a tiny island in Indonesia known for its stinky fruits, pirates, smugglers, and me. Check this out. I was born with a very rare eye condition that turned my eyes red. Crazy, right? Freaks a lot of people out. The cool thing is, I have cat vision at night. The not so cool thing, I live alone on a remote island and I'm an orphan. Do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. I can't remember my parents. Not really. Someone took care of me when I was little, but after that, I was pretty much on my own. I was told they were lost at sea. Hello, Mr. Uweir. Nice day. The village chief made sure I didn't go to school, but with the help of a kind teacher, I found a way. She's the one who gave me my first pair of sunglasses. What a relief they were. They made me so happy.
Okay, class. Open your textbooks to Chapter 5. We'll be reading about birds today.
While humans didn't want that much to do with me, I had plenty of friends on the island. Turns out, they didn't like my friends that much either. The meanest were the older kids. They all followed the chief's son and did whatever he told them. I tried to avoid them, but they relished making fun of me.
Ah! It's the devil girl! Don't look at her!
Are you going to let me pass?
Where are you going, little devil girl? Going to play with your little friends? Maybe I'll eat your friends.
I heard those devil eyes will turn you to stone. Oh yeah? Want to find out?
I'm not scared of you.
Do you really want me to stare into your eyes? I will know your deepest, darkest secrets, and then I'll turn you to stone. It's the ghost! I wondered where you were. I've got a treat for you. Just a typical day for me. Only this time, I went a bit too far with the chief's son. You might be wondering how a small girl like me could survive on her own. The sea provided for me. Most everything I needed was washed ashore. All I had to do was find it. Sometimes, I felt my parents were out there, helping me. I know who's going to like this. I knew right away who was behind the angry crowd. The chief's son. I heard a rustling in the bush. I knew the ghost was near. I smiled and went inside, tossing the sunglasses into the bush as I did. Be ready. Naturally, the chief's son complained to his father. And naturally, everyone decided this would be a perfect opportunity to continue to behave badly.
My son says you viciously attacked him and his friends yesterday.
Viciously? How? I'm just a small 8-year-old girl.
Her eyes, the ghost, she attacked us with witchcraft.
Oh, yes. Your son is a good-for-nothing liar. And as far as my ghost, do you really want to meet him? Or are you afraid?
I am afraid of nothing. I am the chief of this village.
Village chief, meet the village ghost. Mocha, now! I had found Mocha a few years earlier when she was just a small little thing. We both suffered from the same eye condition, which was why she preferred the deep jungle. We were best mates from day one and looked out for each other. She helped find others who needed help. There was nothing we wouldn't do for each other. Later, when the chief found his courage, we were banished from ever entering the village again. But we didn't care. We had each other. We just needed a new and better place to live, somewhere far away from the cruel humans. Evening was our favorite time of the day. When the sun fell, we could see naturally. During the day, it hurt too much without the glasses. But at night, the night was ours. That evening, we went searching for a new home. Mocha spotted it first. We were walking along the shoreline, and I was worried about where we could all live when Mocha pointed out a hidden cave above us. Nice work, Mocha. We'll rest here tonight. Well done, Mocha. Maybe this was a pirate cave. Maybe there's treasure in here. Smugglers, not pirates. Nobody's been here for years. Is this your parents? Oh, Mocha, I'm so sorry. We're more alike than I thought. Years passed, and we collected a large menagerie of animals that needed refuge. The sea kept providing for us. We used every opportunity we had to scavenge what we could, and until I was 17, we were very happy.
Danger! Danger!
Mocha often woke up before me and scouted the beach for useful items. The night before, there was a huge storm, so the picking should have been good. From my vantage point, I saw that the storm had brought something else last night, something that sent a cold chill through my heart. Smugglers! I remember thinking this could not be happening, but I knew, deep down, fear gripped my heart. Mocha! You can't take her! Stop! My worst fears crashed down on me. I felt my life ripped from me as I watched, helpless. The smugglers stole Mocha from me. No! Good girl, I will find you.
Hey, you can't be here.
Sorry, I need to borrow.
Nobody is taking any...
I hadn't been back to the village for years. I felt bad borrowing the boat, but I had to follow that ship before it was too late.
Mocha safe?
They capture live animals. So for now, yes, they've slowed down. They're heading for the big light on the horizon. Whatever that is, best fly back home. I've got a bad feeling about that light. Go on. The next day, I discovered what the strange glow was. Singapore. I had heard others speak of it, but to see it, my first city ever. To see towers of glass as high as a mountain. The sound and lights were overwhelming. I forgot about Mocha, my boat, or even what I was doing. The sea had once again provided for me. While I didn't see the ship that brought Mocha here, I did see the same symbol as the patch of clothes Mocha had torn from her captors. Wherever she was, this symbol was the key to finding her.
And while I don't like to brag, I would like to remind everyone of all my great contributions that I have made over the decades. Therefore, I find it both proper and necessary to reveal the latest statue commemorating my super-duper achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you me.
Another statue? Who does he think he is? Apollo?
Not to worry, I'll have this down in a bit. Wait till you see this one. It cost over $1 million. Oh dear, a little help here?
Hey, watch out! You're coming in too hot!
Wait, I've almost got it. Put the cameras on me. This is about me.
I had no idea what I had just landed in, but I could see that whoever the idiot was pulling on the rope, he was going to give that poor girl on stage a squishing. Without thinking, I knew I had to get her out of the way. Well, hello. Are you okay? I am now. The statue!
I'm at a loss for words right now, but it appears that a mysterious pirate girl has just saved Mr. Chua's daughter. Like a scene from a movie, she's... Oh my! The statue is going to crush everyone! What is she doing? How? She's somehow climbed into the scaffolding and unhooking the drape. This is unbelievable!
I was completely unaware of just how big my entrance into this city was to become. I was just an island girl in search of my monkey, but the press on that day turned me into a hero. Viral was the word they used. Super viral.
Guards, arrest this vagrant. She's trespassing.
Father, she just saved my life, and theirs from your stupid statue. Oh my goodness. Thank you. My name's Alyssa. Why are they cheering? You, silly. They're cheering you. What's your name? Dewey. I'm just here looking for my monkey. This is Dewey, our hero! It's amazing how quickly things can get out of hand. One minute I'm enjoying life with my friends, and a mere day later, I'm neck deep in whatever this was. All I knew was I had to get out of there, but I couldn't.
Who are you?
What are you doing here?
Dewey, how did you climb up there so quick? Are you a superhero?
My name's Dewey. I come from Durian Island. Look, I need to find my friend, Mocha the monkey. She was taken by smugglers. She's a good monkey and she needs to come home. You're serious? A monkey? How dreamy. Wait, that's my father's company. I found this on the beach. I followed a smuggler's ship to this city. It's my only clue.
No clue. Let it be known that Chua Enterprises has no idea who this girl is or what a mola monkey is.
Mocha. Her name is Mocha. You look familiar.
Guards!
This girl just saved your daughter's life and dozens of other people. How do you explain your logo associated with animal smuggling? What are you going to do about this, Mr. Chua?
First of all, I'm not guilty of anything. And then, we'll help her. She will,
Move into our home. I will personally help her find her monkey.
Yes, what an excellent idea. Dewey will move into our home and we will help her find Milky the monkey. Don't worry. Chua Enterprises prioritizes client satisfaction. In fact, it's the name of my latest statue. Satisfaction guaranteed.
At least this is one they'll remember, thanks to you. And before I even knew what was happening, I was whisked off in a car and taken to Mr. Chua's mansion. His house was as big as an island, and the statues. Mr. Chua only had eyes for himself. You get used to them, not so many inside. I had never gotten my picture taken before, and had no idea what to do. What a lot of nonsense, I thought. They had very strong vines growing, though. At least that was interesting.
As the biggest and best benefactor of this city, I pledge that I will move mountains to find this monkey. We will hold a press conference in 1 hour to go over the details. The sooner we reunite Dewey with her companion, the sooner she can return home. Safely.
Mr. Chua seemed really helpful at first, but as soon as the door shut, he changed completely.
Alyssa, show it to its room. It can sleep in the garage for now. A cardboard box should do, I think.
Did he just call me it? Wait, I need to know where Mocha is. You promised to help.
My dear little savage girl, that's what press conferences are for.
The conference will find Mocha?
Press conferences make money, not monkeys. And you're going to make me even richer. Now get out of my way.
We glared at each other, and I did the first thing that popped into my head. I snapped at his finger.
You're an animal.
I know where I've seen that scar before. I've never seen anyone stand up to my father like that. He didn't even yell at you. I need to find Mocha. Let's get you cleaned up first. We've only got an hour. I was unprepared for what wealth really looked like on a personal level. Alyssa's bedroom was unlike anything I could have dreamed of. It's a little much, I know, but you get used to it. I have one of these. Made it myself. Not as nice, though. Really? You're amazing. Let's get you some new clothes. Alyssa tried dozens of dresses on me, but no matter what, we were both unhappy about the look. Wait, I have an idea. Perfect. You look just perfect. Now, if we can just— No! Leave them! You can't look! It's okay. You saved my life. I owe you everything. You can show me. I knew it! Go away! No! No! Your eyes are amazing. You're so strong and brave and so beautiful. I need to find Mocha. Believe it or not, nobody had ever been that kind to me. I've never been called beautiful in my life, and I was feeling things I had never felt. So yeah, basically, I ran away. Not so brave after all.
It appears our guest has cold feet. No matter. Let me tell you about my next big venture. I'm going to build a seawall around the city. A seawall for security.
One of those large things along the top. Statues of you?
Heavens no. They're robots that look like me. I will be watching everything, everywhere. I call it the 4 M's. Mechanical, momentous multitudes of me.
I call it a mechanical monstrosity.
It was all a bit overwhelming, even for me. I was alone in a strange city with strange people. I just wanted to be safely back home with Mocha, but my thoughts kept turning to Alyssa. I had a job to do, a job that I didn't know how to do. I would never forget the boat that kidnapped Mocha, and now, here it was, on Mr. Chua's estate. I was so out of my element. I need help. I've been searching everywhere for you. Are you all right? I need your help. Doing what? And why do you have all those vines? Where have you been? I'll explain on the way. We have doors, you know. That's what I need help with. Come on, Alyssa. Do you trust me? I saw the same boat that kidnapped Mocha pull into that building. So my father's really involved? It's the same boat. He became so lost after Mom died. I lost my parents too. I'm sorry. If you want to stay out here, I understand. No, I have to know the truth, but I don't have the keys. You're my key. I still don't know what the vines are for. In my experience, a good vine can make things just fine. Help! Help! Alyssa's been hurt!
Good heavens, what happened?
She got caught in these vines and slipped into the water. I think she broke her legs.
Well, I'll go get help.
It didn't take us long before we stuffed the guard into something Alyssa called the command and security room. They had security monitors covering the entire area. Oh no, it's true. My father is trafficking animals. Can you move the cameras? We need to find Mocha. This is very high-tech. Infrared, zoom, speakers. I can even listen from here. Yeah, I can move them. Look for an all-white monkey. Do you know how to turn off all the lights? I've got to rescue her. I think we just turn off the main power here. But how will you see? The night is mine, Alyssa. You'll need these. Be careful. Once the lights were out, the men were basically helpless. They couldn't see a thing. I tied each guard up as I passed them. Within minutes, I had found Mocha. Mocha! I've missed you so much. We have to get out of here. We can't save them all, Mocha. But I can. Alyssa knew just what to do. She called the authorities. Even better, she turned over all the security footage to the police captain. Within hours, the entire operation was shut down.
We found him hiding in a statue. He wants to speak with you. My daughter, I have failed you. I'm so sorry. Please, forgive me. I
Need help, Father. This is all so wrong. I'll see to it you get the help you need, but you must pay for what you've done to these animals, to Dewey and the city.
Miss Alyssa, what should we do with all these animals? We don't have the resources.
Like I said, things sure can change quickly. Weeks later, I finally showed up to my first press conference. Alyssa, now head of Chua Enterprises, brokered a deal with the village. My island was to become an animal sanctuary. Plenty of high-paying jobs. The animals had a place to live, and best of all, I had found someone to share my dreams and life with. We lived in two different worlds. Hers was ultra-modern, mine was rather primitive. But here, our two worlds met, and it was a place we could all call home. Hi everyone, I'm Sophia from the USA. Please like and subscribe to SDA. When I was little, I'd always wanted to be like my parents, high-achieving scientists. But as I grew, I realized I could never, because I sucked at everything. Driving lessons, sports, school.
Another F, Sophia.
So, I gave up. My parents were often disappointed, but they always tried to be understanding.
You'll do much better if you just put in the effort.
I wish it was that easy, but being used to failure just had a way of making me feel insecure about myself and everything. In school, I was even known as the unpopular loser. Hey, loser! Disappear! We need this spot! Is your name written on it? That was Heather, the smartest girl in my class, and her dumb, super rich boyfriend, Cameron. I never understood what she saw in him. He was way below her standards. He gave me a mean stare, and I just left the table for them. Whatever. I was done eating anyways. After school that day, I headed home, and on the way, spotted a new antique store that I'd never seen before and walked in to look around. I mistakenly bumped into a shelf of figurines, and everything clattered to the floor. I apologized to the owner as I picked them up. I'm so sorry.
You look like you might be going through something. Talk to me, child. What's wrong?
I don't really talk to strangers, especially ones who looked mysterious and sniffed at people like creeps.
I'm no ordinary stranger. I can sense a bad aura around you. So many failures.
She was right, but how? How did you know that?
You'll find out. I have just the thing for you.
The woman disappeared behind her desk and brought out a weird figurine of a man with marks on his face and something like a small horn protruding backwards. What's that?
It's a very special, important artifact. It'll take care of all of your failures. Have you ever heard of Eshu, an Orisha of the Yubora tribe in Nigeria?
No. What about him? Before the woman could say anything more, someone interrupted, and she became preoccupied with him, so I had to leave. That night, I did a little browsing and found out that Eshu was a powerful god of change, fate, duality, crossroads, a few more things, but there was one constant in every source I checked. He could alter a lot in a person's life, like my grades. Wait, there's more. Eshu can also cause bad change. Well, that's a downer. Was the artifact safe to use? But the good outweighed the bad, and it was super tempting. Well, I'm sure the bad was something I could handle. I had to use this. Please help me score better grades in school and make me so popular and confident. I got a piece of rope from my jewelry bud and tied the artifact around my neck like a pendant before I slept off. I woke up the next day feeling extremely confident and better than ever. The artifact's magic was working. I dressed up for school and couldn't even recognize myself in the mirror. At school, everyone stared at me in shock, and it only made me feel more confident. In the classroom later that day, the teacher gave a pop quiz, and guess what? Dan, a C. Frankie, a B. Wait for it. And Sophia, an A. I had scored an A! OMG! This artifact was my good luck charm. After class, I headed to the cafeteria and found Heather taunting another student as usual. I was filled with so much confidence as I approached her. Hey, leave her alone!
Or what? You can't do anything.
I grabbed a plate of pasta and splashed it on her face, and she looked so furious.
Ah! You ruined my makeup!
After Heather left, I faced the girl she had been attacking. Hey, are you all right? Sorry, I can't hear without my hearing aid. I'm deaf. Thank you for saving me back there. I'm Lottie, by the way. I'm Sophia. Why did you let Heather push you around? Oh, I'm new here, and I only wanted her to show me around. I didn't know she'd be mean. Well, I can show you around if you want. Really? Thanks! As promised, I showed Lottie around, and from there, we became really tight friends and were practically inseparable. The school term finally came to an end, and I made it to the top of my class. Mom and Dad were so happy that they got me tons of gifts.
We're so proud of you, baby girl. We got you presents.
If only they knew about the artifact. I felt like a fraud deceiving my innocent parents, but I couldn't tell them the truth, or the smiles on their faces would disappear. Everything felt like it was going so well for me, and it made Heather mad.
Hey, loser! I don't know how you suddenly went from an F to an A, but no one takes my spot. Maybe just study harder instead of being a meanie. Stay out of my spot, or you'll hate crossing me.
Heather walked away and I just scoffed. I guess she wasn't used to taking second place. The next week, I was feeling lucky, so I decided to rekindle my love for science once more and take part in my town's science fair. I came out as the overall winner with a whopping cash prize of $2,000.
And the winner of this year's science fair is Sophia! Congratulations, honey! Don't be reckless with your money. Save it in a bank, all right?
At school, I became so popular that I practically overthrew Heather from her throne, and I decided I was going to use some of my money to throw a big party. I had to prove to everyone my loser era was over. Lottie and I spent the whole day discussing plans.
I think I'll rent a fancy mansion for the party. That'll cost a lot of money. I can always get another. Why do you sound so sure?
I figured I could trust Lottie, so I showed her the artifact.
It's an artifact of the Yoruba god, Eshu, in Nigeria. He can change a person's life and fate. Do your parents know about it? Nope. I can't tell them. And they don't have to know about this party either. Promise me, Lottie? Promise. But at some point, you know they'll find out, right? I'll handle that when the day comes. Anyways, come on. We have to share these flyers around school.
Lottie and I got to school and shared the flyers around. And later, when we finished, we were spending some time in the cafeteria when Heather and Cameron approached us.
Hey, heard you were having a party. Where are our invites?
I thought that was pretty obvious. You're not invited.
The words flowed freely from my mouth, and I felt like it was because of the artifact.
You'll regret saying that. Come on, Heather.
Cameron grabbed Heather's hand, and for a moment, she pulled her arm away like she didn't want to go with him. But he grabbed it, and she just went along. That was weird.
Good riddance. They don't own this school.
The next day, I dressed up in my party clothes for the party. The pendant on my neck didn't match my outfit, so I took it off and carefully placed it in my handbag. Then, I wore a large coat over my dress to hide it from my parents.
Mom, Dad, I'm going over to Lottie's. I'm staying the night, so I'll see you tomorrow.
Why are you dressed in a coat?
It's a little cold outside. Don't want to fall sick.
All right, honey. Be safe.
Phew, that was close.
As soon as I got out, I took off my coat and headed straight for the party. And it was so fun. That wasn't until the crazy couple, Cameron and Heather, crashed it. Like, literally, crashed into it with a car.
I'm calling the cops on you two. You almost hurt everyone. I warned you.
To my surprise, Heather ran towards me and started begging.
Please, don't call the cops. Cameron didn't mean it. We're sorry.
Seeing her apologize for the first time ever gave me such a power trip, and I just couldn't help the next few words that came out of my mouth.
Prove you're sorry. Say, "You're my queen, Sophia, and I'm such a loser." Here, in front of everyone.
To my surprise, Heather said the words.
"You're my queen, Sophia, and I'm such a loser." Good. Now, leave my party and never come back.
Cameron looked furious, but Heather grabbed his arm and pulled him away.
Come on, Cameron.
After the crazy couple left, I turned around to face an upset Lottie.
You didn't have to go that far with Heather. It was mean. She and Cameron deserved it. They crashed my party, but you didn't have to turn into her to make a point. Come on, Lottie. I could never be like Heather.
I convinced Lottie I was on my best behavior, and after a while, she cheered up.
Fine. Can I keep my phone in your bag? I don't want to lose it.
I gave Lottie the bag and just kept dancing. The next morning when I got home, I noticed the artifact was missing from my bag. And after spending hours searching, I realized who must have taken it.
Where is it? What are you talking about? My artifact! Don't act like you don't know. Isn't it always around your neck? It was in my bag yesterday, which I gave you. You're the only one I told of its powers. Stop acting dumb. That's not a nice way to talk to a friend. A thief isn't my friend. Took only a little popularity and some cash for you to turn into a meanie too, huh?
Lottie furiously banged her locker door in my face and stomped away, and I was so mad at everything. I needed to cool down, so I went into the bathroom. And after a little while, Heather and a strange older lady walked in. I didn't want to be noticed, so I tried to stay as quiet as possible.
Mom, Cameron is crazy. I don't want to be with him.
Shush! Do you want to ruin the business deal I have with his father? It was just a car crash into some silly party.
He almost hurt someone and destroyed people's stuff.
Why are you so difficult? All you have to do is date the dumb boy and help him with his scores since he can't even spell his own name.
But he's a psycho. I'm tired of pretending to everyone that I like him.
You'll pretend for as long as I want you to. Also, you need to come right at the top of your class again. You're starting to look stupid to Cameron's parents. I can't afford that. Do you understand?
Heather's mom sounded so mean, and I felt so bad for the way I'd treated Heather in the past. As soon as her mom left, she fell against the toilet sink crying, and I just wanted to come out and comfort her. Until her stupid boyfriend walked in with a long stack of books, which he dumped right in front of her. The nerve!
Go away, Cameron!
You look ugly when you cry. Anyways, I have some more assignments for you. I need them by tomorrow.
Who did he think he was? Seeing him speak that way to Heather made me so furious I stepped out of my hiding spot.
Hey, jerk! Why don't you go away like she asked you to? You again! No one's here, so I'll just deal with you once and for all!
Cameron tried to attack me, but Heather suddenly stood between us.
If you don't go away, I won't write your assignments!
The threat seemed to work, because he glared at me before he turned around and walked out of the toilet. Heather turned towards me.
You didn't hear or see anything here today.
Then she grabbed Cameron's books and followed suit without even glancing at me. Throughout the day, I tried to catch her alone and succeeded when I found her in an empty class.
Hey, are you alright? Just because I stood up for you to my jerk of a boyfriend doesn't mean we're friends.
I had no idea what you were going through, and I'm sorry for making your pain worse.
Oh, don't be the goody-goody two-shoes now, queen.
All day, I felt so guilty about how I treated Heather that I didn't even notice the cops and my furious parents standing in front of my home.
Miss Sophia, you're under arrest for vandalizing the properties of a mansion rented to you for a party.
What are you talking about? Cameron was the one who crashed the party, not me.
The cop didn't even listen to me as they placed me in handcuffs and took me away. My parents couldn't look at me once. They later came to the station to bail me out that night, and the ride home was really quiet. As soon as we got home, they faced me.
Heather told us everything, and we're so disappointed in you. An artifact and a party? Really? You lied to us. We didn't bring you up that way, Sophia.
Jeez, they were right. I was a horrible person. I broke down into tears.
I'm so sorry. Everyone made me feel like such a loser. I just wanted to prove you all wrong. I didn't mean to hurt anyone.
Oh, honey, you're not a loser. We've never thought you were one. We just wanted you to believe in yourself and do better. You don't need an artifact for that. You just need yourself.
I love you too so much. Mom and Dad's words comforted me, and after a while, my tears subsided.
There's someone you need to see. She really cares about you.
Mom and Dad left the room, and Lottie walked in. Overwhelmed by my emotions, I hugged her.
Lottie, I didn't mean any of those things I told you. I know. You were kind of right. I did steal your artifact. But it was only because I wanted to help you.
I don't understand.
I looked up Eshu, and I know he likes to show the two sides to everything. You got everything you wanted, but you also became mean and unlike yourself. You even started lying to your parents. I'm going to fix everything.
Lottie's words made a lot of sense to me, so the next day, we decided to return the artifact back to the antique owner.
Welcome back, child. You look better than the last time you were here.
Thank you. I just wanted to return this. It gave me what I wanted, but I also turned into a bad person.
Oh, child, that was all you. Not this fake replica artifact of Eshu. I sensed an aura of insecurity around you and figured you needed something to boost your confidence. It was all a mind trick.
I couldn't believe my ears. Everything I won was all on my own, and the people I hurt in the process too.
Wow, Sophia, that means you must be a genius.
Everything felt too good to be true, but there was one lingering question on my mind.
Who are you?
A fortune teller.
Thank you for helping me discover myself. After that day, I became better and started to put effort into everything I did. But there was one thing left, Heather.
Heather was the student with the highest score.
After class ended that day, she approached me.
Did you fail yourself to give me a higher score? What? That's ridiculous. You're bad at lying. Thank you, I guess. And I'm sorry about being mean to you and your friend. I wanted an output for my anger, and I used you to. You didn't deserve it. Just like Cameron doesn't deserve you. You're right. I need to end things with him. I'll be with you as your support. If his parents or your mom try anything, we can sue them with some of my lottery money. Thank you so much, Sophia.
Heather later ended things with Cameron, and to everyone's surprise, she became close friends with me and Lottie. We were like the Powerpuff Girls. Together, we all graduated at the top of our class, and I grew up to be a scientist just like my parents. Effort really pays off, guys. You just have to try. the easy way out isn't always the best way.
Hi, I'm Collins, prince of a faraway kingdom called Setia. I was born to the two worst parents ever. Dad and Mum were the king and queen of Setia, and they were the worst the town had ever seen. They shamelessly stole and ate the town's money, and also believed that we were above everyone else because we were royals. My brother, Gerald, who was 2 years older than me, was exactly like them. Selfish, and a big, empty-headed hunk who was only interested in growing his intimidating biceps and nothing else. I came out different though. Every time I got a chance, I helped people, even if Mum and Dad didn't like that very much. Once, when I was 10, I heard this girl crying by the castle gates.
Somebody! Anybody! I need help! My mom needs medication and we don't have any money.
My brother, Gerald, walked up to her and pushed her away from the gates, and then he was so rude.
Get away from the castle, peasant. There are doctors all over the village. Go ask them for medication. This isn't a hospital.
I don't have any money for that. The king and queen took our farmland away. Please help me.
Get lost!
I decided that was enough, but before I could do anything, the girl stood up to my barbaric brother, unwavered by his scare tactics.
You're a cow, and you don't scare me.
I think I had fallen in love. Gerald angrily shut the gates on her, and that was my cue to sneak through them later with a bag of coins I stole from his cloak, as vengeance for what he did to her. I found her at the same spot, looking so helpless. I can help you. She turned to me with big, brown eyes, which I'd never forget. And then I took out the bag of coins and gave it to her.
Thank you so much.
She hugged me and ran off before I could ask her name. As I stood up, my leg kicked something. It was a locket. Inside of it was an old picture of a man and a woman I guessed were her parents. I kept it and promised to return it whenever I saw her. But after that day, I never saw her again. In the next few weeks, I busied myself with caring for my plants as Gerald continued to be a menace.
Hey, Colin, knock, knock.
Not again. I slapped a hand across my face, exhausted of hearing his dumb jokes.
It's a big, sweet, juicy piece of chicken. Nothing you'll ever know about. Vegan, real men eat these instead of ugly, foul broccolis.
Well, why don't you have this?
I swung a corpse flower in his face, and the smell drained the blood from his face. He screamed like a girl, and I burst out laughing. Years passed. A harsh winter hit my village, destroying all of our crops and plunging us into months of famine. As everyone struggled to manage, my parents continued to harass them for everything they had. And as soon as they realized that the people were too poor to sustain their extravagance, they organized a search party.
You brave men and women are the only hope of Setia. I put my strong sons Gerald and Collins in charge of you. You'll leave the town and search for ripe farmlands and other places. Once you find anything, report back to the palace. I wish you luck.
We left that day and trudged through the deep snow searching for farmlands until a thick tornado struck the group on the 4th day and separated us. I was whirled away from Gerald and the group. When I woke up the next morning, I found myself in a lush forest. I walked around, admiring the greenery around me. Suddenly, I heard a growl behind me. Chilling fear shook my bones as I turned around and came face to face with a 7-foot bear. My skin prickled with goosebumps. And just when I thought I was done for, a girl jumped out of the bushes and grabbed me by the hand. We dashed through the dense bushes until we'd given the bear some distance.
I think it stopped chasing us.
Thank you for saving me. I'm Collins. What's your name?
I'm Raven.
She stood straight, and I was faced with the most beautiful lady I'd ever seen. She reminded me of one of the strong, tall Amazons I often read about in books.
What are you looking at?
I tried to speak, but I felt like a cat caught my tongue.
Uh-oh! It seems like it found us again. Come on!
We ran until we reached a small cottage in the middle of the forest.
Welcome to my humble abode.
You live here all by yourself? Isn't it too dangerous for you?
Nothing can scare me. In fact, they should all be scared of me.
The confident way she spoke gave me a sense of déjà vu, and the brave girl from years back came into my thoughts. You know, you look quite familiar.
I've heard a lot of pickup lines from guys, but that one is new. A for effort, but I don't think we've ever met, handsome.
Wait, I'm really serious. I brought out her locket from my pockets. I've been carrying it around with me since that day, hoping it would lead me to that fierce owner who had faced Gerald, the girl I'd fallen in love with. And now, she was right in front of me. Remember this? You dropped it all those years ago when I helped you with money for your mom's illness. She looked at it as if it were a foreign object, so I opened the locket and showed her the picture of the people inside. I thought she recognized them for a moment, but her expression changed to a frown.
I told you I don't know you. That silly locket isn't going to change my mind. And have you never heard of doppelgangers?
It's just you look so alike. I closed the locket and slipped it back into my pocket, quite disappointed that she wasn't the one. Raven let me stay with her because I had nowhere else to go. I learned quite a lot about her in that while. How she loved music and loved to dance. We went on food gathering trips together, and in the process I showed her all of my favorite plants and what I loved about each one. This is the Middle Mist Red. It's one of the prettiest and rarest flowers in the world.
It looks like a rose.
But it's not. It's actually a type of camellia flower. It'll look pretty on you.
Why don't we try?
She turned to the side, and I slipped the flower into her hair.
Well, what do you think?
I was stunned by her beauty. There were no words to express how beautiful I thought she was. It looks so beautiful on you.
Thank you.
She grabbed my arm.
Come on, there's something I want to show you.
I followed her as she excitedly led me past some beautiful glowing trees to a sea with an old ship tied to an abandoned dock. We found a lot of boxes in its storage. Wow, so many boxes. What do you think are in them?
Why don't you open one and find out?
I opened one of the boxes and was shocked to find it filled with diamonds. Where did they all come from?
I have no idea. They're my ticket out of here, to somewhere better. We could share them if you want.
Raven and I spent our night on the ship, staring at the stars and talking about our futures. I forgot all about Gerald and everyone until the next morning, when I woke up and found myself surrounded by Gerald and the search group.
Today's your lucky day, Collins. Your big brother has come to save you.
How did you find me?
You weren't easy to find, but thanks to my excellent tracking skill, we tracked the debris from the tornado to here.
Gerald started to walk around, looking at everything in awe, and I just knew in that instant what he had in mind.
Look at all these plants. It can feed an entire town for years.
As if that wasn't bad enough, my back collided with one of the ship's boxes, which fell and spilled diamonds. I shifted to hide them from Gerald, but it was too late.
Diamonds, too? We're about to be the richest royal family in all of Europe.
None of the things in the forest belong to you.
Don't tell me you'll starve an entire town because you're a plant freak.
Gerald directed the search party to take whatever they could find, and there was nothing I could do to stop them. Meanwhile, Raven had disappeared into thin air. I looked around for her, but she was nowhere to be found. I really hoped she was safe. I watched my brother and the group clear most of the forest in a single day, and we returned home. Mom and Dad had greeted us and then directed the guards to take the diamonds to storage. Aren't we supposed to distribute everything to the kingdom?
It's still for the people. We're just helping to preserve it.
But I knew they were lying. When they went to bed that night, I crept into the storage room and stole some food, which I gave to the villagers. Gerald and the group returned to the forest every day to get more food, and I followed them on several occasions, hoping to see Raven. I never found her, but I did discover some Middle Mist flowers, which I brought back to the palace and planted all around. They made me think of Raven. A month passed since I last saw her, until one night I had been sleeping when a loud commotion in the palace woke me up. I went to check on the source and was shocked to find the servants running around in terror. But that wasn't my biggest shock. It was Raven right in the middle of the chaos. In fact, she was causing it.
Ha-ha! Run, wimps! I'm your new queen now!
Raven?
Oh, hey there, my prince. Or should I say, princeless?
Her guards laughed like she had said something funny. What do you think you're doing?
What does it look like? I'm taking over the kingdom from your bad parents.
What? I thought you wanted to travel and explore the world.
That was all a lie I told you to get you to trust me. I knew it wouldn't be long before you royalties revealed your greed and you proved me right. Just like all those years ago when you gave me a bag of stones instead of coins.
What? That wasn't me. It had to be that moron Gerald. He had filled the bag up with stones, not coins. I'm sorry. I honestly thought they were coins. That means the locket is yours. Why did you lie then?
I couldn't give up my act, but I'm going to need it now. It's all I have of my parents since I lost them both to illness because of your family.
I guiltily returned Raven's necklace to her and looked around the throne room suspiciously. Where are my parents and brother?
Sleeping soundly in their beds. You don't think those flowers in the forest were just there, right? Thanks to these guys. They helped me put some sleeping powder into the flowers and I planted them just where you'd find them. I know how hard it is for you to resist your favorite plant.
I couldn't believe Raven would trick me this way. I had been nothing but kind to her.
Anyways, I have a coronation to plan, so please, find yourself to your new quarters, which is the dungeon.
I was thrown into the dungeon the next morning. Dad, Mom, and Gerald were all thrown in there as well.
I keep telling you never to mix with poor people. I hope you've learned your lesson now.
For days, they wouldn't stop bickering about how everything was my fault, and I wished I could be anywhere else. My wish was finally granted the next week.
You, the queen seeks your presence.
I was escorted out of the dungeon to the throne room where Raven sat majestically. She motioned me forward and I approached her.
This is hard to say, but I need your help, Collins.
Now, why on earth would I help you?
I know I took your parents' crown away, but they've done worse.
And you threw us in a dungeon. I never even did anything to you.
Fine, I'll let you all out. Happy?
Yes, that's better.
Now that's settled, I need you to teach me how to be a proper queen. The kingdom is in debt, and I want to marry Frank, Prince of Mayland, to save us. I heard he's your family friend and very wealthy.
He wasn't my friend. He was one of Gerald's thick-headed dumb friends. And hearing Raven talk about marrying him felt like such a punch to my guts. Fine, I'll teach you.
Thank you. And for what it's worth, I'm really sorry about everything. I enjoyed the time we spent together in the forest.
She avoided my eyes as she said the words, but I wasn't falling for the pretense this time. You don't have to lie to me any longer, I said and then walked away. As promised, Raven released my family from the dungeon and placed them in a house with thick security. On the other hand, I was free and helping Raven with her lessons. Steady, steady.
Thanks.
Raven was a quick learner. In no time, she was doing perfectly.
I think I've gotten the hang of this.
I spun her around as we danced, and when her skin touched mine, my heart felt like it was going to burst into 1,000 pieces. I was so caught up in the moment that I didn't notice when the music stopped, and I drew Raven close and kissed her without thinking. She returned my kiss, and when we were finished, she looked at me with those big brown eyes. I think I'm in love with you, Raven.
Collins, I'm sorry, but let's pretend like the kiss never happened. I have to marry someone else.
She ran out, leaving me standing alone in the ballroom inn. Since that day, she began to avoid me. The following week, Frank arrived in Setia, and Raven hosted a ball in his honor. Guests from all over the world arrived, and I was jealous as I watched Raven laugh at something he said. I had no idea what came over me, but I grabbed a glass of drink and headed towards them. As soon as I reached, I lifted it and spilled it on Raven?
What did you do that for?
I glared at Frank. It was like he had seen me coming and moved out of the way, just in time for my drink to spill on Raven instead of him.
You have no right to harm the queen. I'll protect your honor, your majesty.
Suddenly he shoved me. I shoved him back and we began to fight, ruining the entire ball. Raven was furious with me.
This was always your plan, to embarrass my position as queen and ruin my chances of finding a husband. I should have known better than to trust you.
She walked away from us while we were still on the floor, and Frank quietly slipped out from under me and out the door. Moments later, my parents and Gerald stormed into the room in anger.
Where's that throne thief?
As they burned with rage, I spotted Gerald and Frank shaking hands.
Thanks for getting us out. You're the best, bro.
I knew it! Frank had been up to no good, but before I could do anything about it, Raven came into the room and faced my parents.
You're all supposed to be locked up. How did you even get out?
Foolish girl. You didn't think an old-time friend of ours would just marry you while we were still being held hostage, did you?
Raven whistled, and all of a sudden her crew gathered behind her.
If you want the throne, you should know I'm not going down without a fight.
Gerald's eyes glinted with excitement at the mention of a fight, and the two sides squared up. I decided I had enough of everything and yelled, "Enough!" Everyone turned to look at me. None of you deserve to sit on the throne. I'm sorry to say, but you're all bad rulers. Dad, Mom, and Raven, you don't even know how to rule. Everyone noticed the commotion and gathered around as I spoke. They nodded their heads to everything I said. I think this time the people deserve to choose who rule them.
That's bloody ridiculous. Our generation has held this throne for years.
As he attempted to walk up to the throne, Raven and her warriors blocked him.
Colin is right. This town needs better.
The crowd agreed with me, and moments later, a vote was held and I was elected to be the king, but I didn't want it. I don't think I can do it. Raven walked up to me and touched me on the cheek.
You're the perfect leader, Collins. You're kind, passionate, and gentle. This town needs you. Not me or your parents. I allowed vengeance to cloud my mind and make me into a bad person. But you never hated me in spite of it. You still loved me.
Raven's words filled me with a lot of courage.
I'll only be able to do this with you by my side.
Then I'll be by your side. I'm sorry about everything, and I love you too.
She threw her arms around me and kissed me, and the next day the town crowned me king. I looked over my subjects and made one promise. I will be a better king to you than my predecessors! Then I looked at Raven and sneaked out a Middlemas flower from my pockets, which I tucked behind her ear. At least this one isn't poisoned.
Oh, come on.
Raven laughed at my inside joke and hugged me. I love you so much, Raven. Please, be my queen.
Really? Of course I'll be your queen.
I turned to the crowd and raised Raven's arm. And this is your new queen. Hi, I'm Colton, your friendly neighborhood geek. Even though I was a bookworm, there was only one thing that distracted me. Haley, my super gorgeous and rich neighbor. Once, I even proposed to her with a ring pop. She was the sweetest girl ever. The only thing that stood between us was money. Her family had a lot, and my family was the average type. We're married now. Haley laughed, and all I could do was stare. Even though I was just 7 years old, I had a huge crush on her and knew I'd marry her for real one day. We happily licked our ring pops, but just then, Haley stopped smiling and hid her hand behind her back. Suddenly, someone pinched my ear and dragged me to my house.
What do you think you're doing with my daughter?
Haley's mom really didn't like me, even though we were neighbors. She always called me a poor boy, just because they drove a better car than my family.
Haley, how many times must I tell you not to play with this poor boy?
Mom! Leave him alone!
Mom! Dad! My parents heard the commotion and came out. As soon as my mom saw how Mrs. Smith was mishandling me, she shoved her so hard that Mrs. Smith fell on her back.
Keep Cody away from my daughter. She's going to be a rich, famous model soon. She can't be hanging out with losers like him.
Well, my son is not a loser. You are, Mrs. Smith. You're just a low-level, materialistic woman. Pathetic.
After that day, Haley's mom never let her hang out with me. As years passed, she became even prettier, while I became the scrawny geek with a terrible fashion sense. By the time we were in high school, my crush on her was unbearable. So one day in 9th grade, I decided to ask her out. After getting flowers and writing a beautiful speech, I waited for everyone to settle down in class, and then I approached Haley and went down on my knee. Roses are red, violets are blue. My love for you is true, just like this sky is blue. Okay, maybe not the best speech, but Google had assured me it'd work. Our wedding may have been fake that day under the tree, but my love was always real.
You're pathetic. How could you even think Haley would have time for someone like you? Haley's out of your league, Cody. Just give up already.
Colton. My name is Colton.
Colton, this is sweet, but you need to stop. You know I'm dating Hero now.
Seriously, dude. Go give these flowers to your grandma or something.
Well, at least my grandma has more brains than you.
What did you say?
Leave him alone, Hero.
Hero was Haley's boyfriend. He was the school karate champion, but when it came to passing his tests, he failed miserably and usually ended up copying me. Afraid of competition, Hero? How many times have you gotten Haley flowers? I'm guessing 0, just like the score on your math tests.
You're really starting to irritate me.
Hero grabbed the flowers and threw them in the trash. What a jerk! But there was nothing more I could do. He had muscles on top of his muscles, so punching him would only hurt my hand.
I'm sorry, Colton. Please stop trying.
I won't give up. You'll see. A few days after my love confession to Haley, I heard noise coming from her house. And when I looked through the window, I saw her friends hanging out by the pool. Just then, I heard a knock on the door, and when I opened it, I almost tripped when I saw who it was. Haley, why are you here?
I'm sorry about what happened the other day.
It's okay. I'll always be here for you.
That's sweet, Colton. Anyway, a bunch of us are hanging out at the pool. Want to join us?
Me?
Duh! Yes, you! See ya!
After she left, I rushed to my parents' room and raided my dad's closet. I put on his favorite shirt and drenched myself with his cologne. I had a girl to impress, so I stood in front of the mirror and practiced my entry to the party. Hi, are you Google? 'Cause you have everything I'm searching for. That was a good one, right? And if that didn't work, this next one was a sure thing. I hope you know CPR, because you took my breath away. At the time, I felt like $1,000,000. But as soon as I walked into the party, I spotted Haley and walked towards her, but Hero stood and blocked my way.
What's that smell? Did you bathe in cologne, bro?
Before I could answer him, he picked up a water balloon and threw it at me.
You need to wash off that smell before you give us all a bad headache. Maybe I should just throw you into the pool.
When Hiro started to walk toward me, I knew I had to do something, so I picked up a big bowl of punch and dropped it over his head. And then Haley suddenly rushed to him.
Hey, what did you do that for?
I couldn't believe it. How was she not mad at him? He started it.
I regret inviting you to my party.
Yeah, she only invited you because she felt sorry for you.
Wow, so much for thinking that Haley actually cared about me. I don't need anyone to feel sorry for me. Enjoy your stupid party, Haley. After the party, I vowed to stop trying to impress Haley and focused on my science projects. When it was time for the school annual talent show, I had the perfect idea. I was going to make ice cream from scratch.
Dude, what are you even doing?
Actually, I'm making ice cream.
Did you say ice cream? Yum!
Sure, you can have some.
Me too, me too!
Before I knew it, I was surrounded by girls. Who's laughing now, Hiro? As I was busy enjoying all the attention, the lighting on the runway stage changed to pink, and Haley made an entrance. It was hard not to look, and I had to admit, she looked beautiful. I pulled myself together and went back to dishing out ice cream, until I heard Haley scream, and when I looked, I saw her fall on the runway. Seconds later, Hiro was by her side, being the perfect boyfriend. Who wants to try a new flavor? As weeks went by, my newfound fame faded. I went back to being invisible. Until one day when I accidentally walked into karate class. And as soon as Hiro saw me, he smirked.
Dude, are you lost? Loser's Corner's that way.
He thought he was so clever, so I decided to mess with him. I'm not lost. I'm here to learn karate.
You mean you're here to try and impress Haley?
Not everything is about Haley.
This is not the place for you, Colton.
It's not up to you to decide.
Okay, that's enough. Colton, welcome to the class. If you're serious, put your books down and get on the mat. And show us what you got.
I knew I'd just walked straight into the lion's den, but there was no way I was going to back out and have Hiro laugh at me. I had no clue what he wanted me to show them, so when I got on the mat, I closed my eyes and remembered all of the moves I'd watched on the Karate Kid movie. Hey-ya!
Time to come out of your trance, Colton. That was, impressive. Now it's time to practice. Keisha, you're on.
As soon as I heard Keisha's name, I knew I was in trouble. Keisha was the female version of Hiro. She was the female karate champion and Haley's best friend. Without warning, Keisha stood up and swept me off my feet. Literally. I landed on my butt. Time out! Time out! Oh, my back hurts. Ouch. This was a bad idea. You were right, I was lost. I was headed to the library. I may not be as good in karate, but I'm smart, and I'm okay with that. As I walked away from the gym, limping, Keisha caught up with me. Are you here to finish me off?
Relax, crybaby. I just want to talk.
Right. Then talk. I don't have all day.
Rude! Anyway, I liked what you said to Hiro just now. You're smarter than him, and he hates it. Don't ever let him put you down.
I was stunned. Keisha always treated me like I was invisible. Thanks?
Look, we don't have to like each other. I'm actually risking my reputation talking to you like this. But I want to help you.
Help me with what?
With Haley. I can help you get her attention.
No thanks, I'm over her now.
Just imagine it. In just a few weeks, you can be just as buff as Hiro. Then you'll be both beauty and brains.
Honestly, it was like I couldn't escape Haley no matter how much I tried. I'd work on myself in other ways. Karate wasn't it. Also, why was Keisha being so nice all of a sudden? What's in it for you?
Forget I said anything. You never stood a chance with Haley anyway.
Keisha stormed off and left me confused. One minute she was nice, the next minute she looked like a hurricane. What was that about? A few hours later, I was walking home from school when I spotted Hiro's car parked by the roadside. As I got closer to the car, I noticed he had a girl with him and he was kissing her. Just my luck. I know I said I was over Haley, but that didn't mean I wanted to see her kiss him. I was about to walk away when something caught my eye. The girl in the car was not Haley. It was Keisha. Hello, lovebird.
Colton, please don't tell Haley.
I thought she was your best friend. It all made sense now. This was why Keisha was so determined to help me with Haley. She wanted her out of the way.
It's not what it looks like.
Right. And next you're going to tell me that the sky isn't blue. And you, got nothing to say?
This is none of your business. You better keep your mouth shut, or else I'll knock your teeth out.
He was kind of right. It really wasn't any of my business. Also, I loved my teeth. So I turned to walk away, but just then, Haley rode by and stopped when she saw us.
Hey, girl.
I thought you were already home.
Wow, she was so fake. Couldn't Haley see through all this acting?
What are you guys doing here?
Nothing, babe. Just having a little chat with Colton.
Actually, they...
Babe, don't believe anything Colton says. He didn't see anything.
You fool! He didn't tell her anything, but you just might have. What's going on?
I was done covering for those backstabbers. I may have gotten over Haley, but she deserved to know the truth. I caught them kissing just now.
What?
Honestly, Haley, I don't understand how you can surround yourself with such fakes.
What did you just say? I'm gonna teach you a lesson.
That was all the warning I got before he aimed a flying kick at me. But Haley jumped in right in front of me, and the kick landed right on her face.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, Haley. I didn't mean to.
Don't touch me!
Shame on both of you. Haley did not show up at school for a week, and when she did, her mom was with her. When Hero saw how bruised her face was, he went to talk to her, but her mom shoved him away.
You're not allowed near my daughter! Do you know how much money we're losing as we wait for her face to heal?
I felt really bad for Haley, but there was nothing I could do. So I buried myself in books and spent most of my time in the library. I wanted to make something of myself. I eventually stayed away from Haley, and once I completed school, I moved to the city and became a successful businessman, owning my own coffee shop. One day as I sat in a restaurant scrolling through my phone, a lady carrying a coffee pot tripped and landed on my lap. The pot landed at my feet, splashing coffee on my shoes. Hey, watch it!
I'm so sorry, Mr.
I was about to tell her off when I realized who it was. Haley?
Colton? Wow, you look different.
Not geeky and scrawny anymore.
I never thought you were geeky and scrawny. Also, there's nothing wrong with being either of those things.
Ah, then was it the cologne? That was my dad's, by the way.
There was nothing wrong with you, Colton. I actually liked you. But Mom wanted me to date Hero because his dad was a famous modeling agent.
Of all the things I expected her to say, that wasn't one of them. What? That's crazy. As I stared at her, she reached for her necklace, pulled it out from under her blouse, and revealed a ring pop? It couldn't be.
Do you remember this?
How could I not? Is this the same one I gave you when we were kids?
Yes, I've been saving it this whole time.
I was stunned. All this time, I thought Haley ignored me because I was a geek. Turns out she was just afraid of her controlling mom. Haley, Just then, the woman I hated most at that moment walked in and came straight toward us.
Hi, Hales. Do you have $100 I could borrow? Oh, and I just saw this fancy car outside. Woo! And who's this handsome gentleman?
Mom! You really don't recognize Colton?
She came in and squinted so close to my face I could feel her breath.
Odie? Colton! It's Colton, Mom! And that fancy car outside, that's his!
I've never seen anyone's face brighten up faster than Mrs. Smith's did that day. Suddenly, I had an idea. Hey, Mrs. Smith, you said you needed $100, right?
Yeah, I do actually. There's this really cute dress at the mall and I just have to have it.
Not so fast. I'll only give you this if you agree to cover Haley's shift so she and I can go for a drive in my fancy car.
Oh, but...
Take it or leave it.
Fine. I'll do it.
Where to?
I know just the place. When Haley and I walked out of the coffee shop, I thought about taking her to a fancy restaurant, but I chose to bring her to our tree instead. So, how have you been? Why are you working at the coffee shop? As soon as I asked that last question, I regretted it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean...
It's okay. I also didn't think I'd end up there.
What happened?
I quit modeling because there was too much pressure from Mom. I planned to go to college and get away from her, but I found out she'd squandered all of our savings, so here I am. Worse still, we might lose our house due to her ridiculous spending.
Once again, I was filled with rage at Haley's mom. Seriously, what kind of mom does that? I'm so sorry, Haley. Tell me how I can help. As I listened to Haley, I made a decision to help her go to college and keep her house. I was angry at her mom, but if I refused to help, Haley would suffer too. You don't have to pay for your mom's mistakes. I'll make sure you go to college and keep your house. As Haley hugged me, I reached out to the tree and I removed a patch of tree bark. And out fell my ring pop. I hid it there years ago when I decided to stop trying to win over Haley.
Oh my god! You kept yours too?
Yup. Now how about we put them back on?
Wait, does this mean we're married again?
And what do you think I said?
Hi, I'm Sasha. I grew up with a single father, and he loved me to bits. But sometimes he was a bit over the top about his love for sports. He was my biggest fan.
Go, Bolt! Go! That's my girl! Watch out, world! The next Usain Bolt is coming!
Dad was a figure skater during his teen years. My mom left us when I was 2 without any reason, and ever since, he was my everything. We were so close that despite his family's effort to make him remarry, he insisted he was fine and didn't need any female help to raise me.
If her real mom can't take care of her, what woman can?
Though he did his best, one day it dawned on him that he had no idea how to raise a little girl. One time, we were invited to a wedding, and Dad bought matching male suits for us to twin in.
Look, Sasha, we're going to twin in this.
But Dad, it makes me look like a boy.
Who cares? You look good to me.
At his insistence, I wore the suit to the wedding, and I was the laughing stock of the party.
Oh, someone missed her calling as a boy. Will you shut it? Or what? You'll slap me? I bet you can't raise your hand in that stiff suit.
I was really about to hit her, but then my dad and Aunt Vanya showed up.
Okay, someone has a lot of time on her hands. Why don't you go help serve the food?
But
that's an order. Sasha, are you okay?
Before I could speak, Aunt Vanya enveloped me in a hug. She was a policewoman, and though she was the most pushy in my dad's family about him getting married, she was the one that cared about us the most.
Oh, poor you. Of course she isn't okay. If only you had a wife, she would have dressed Sasha properly for the occasion.
That finally sealed the deal for Dad, and from that day, he began to date woman after woman, trying to find the one he would marry so they could better connect with and take care of me. Eventually, I got tired of all the women and told Dad,
it's okay, Dad. I can take care of myself.
But Sasha, you're only 8.
Don't worry. That's why we have Google.
And so from then on, I took charge. I would watch YouTube tutorials to cook.
Hit or miss.
Is there sugar in this?
Yep.
Sometimes I would iron his shirt. And of course, I now shopped for my own dresses. One day, we were cleaning out Dad's room together when I saw a framed picture of his younger self with a red-haired girl.
Dad, who's this?
Dad took the picture from me and got the saddest expression on his face.
That's Harley, my former skating partner.
Did something happen to her? You never told me why you quit ice skating so young.
It's not something I like to talk about, Sasha. Please just drop it.
I bit back my questions and focused on keeping our home together. The more I grew, the more I got better at doing things. This included my athletic skills. In fact, my life was good until one evening when I was 15, Dad made an announcement as soon as he came back from work that changed my life forever.
Guess what, Sasha? I finally found her! My missing rib!
My fork fell out of my hands as I flew to his side.
Oh my god, Dad! Why didn't you tell me your rib was missing? Which side? How did it—
No, Sasha. I mean, I've seen the woman I want to marry. The woman that will be your new mom.
Oh, I thought we abandoned the babysitter project years back. I don't need any woman to take care of me. I'm a big girl now.
I know, but it's not just about a woman to take care of you now, Sasha. I'm in love with her, and I want her by my side. It would make me happier.
Looking at Dad then, I could see the lovesick expression those in movies wore that made me want to puke. And though I felt a bit jealous that I wasn't the center of Dad's attention anymore, I knew I couldn't be selfish. Well, if she makes you happy, then I welcome her with all my heart.
Sasha, you're the best daughter in the world.
Dad's raw excitement made me eager to see her. But the next day when she arrived, I almost peed myself. Her face was full of makeup, bright red lipstick, and long artificial nails that made her look like a beautiful, dangerous witch. But of course, I didn't want to judge a book by its cover, so I played nicely.
Sasha, meet Eva, the woman I told you about. Eva, meet Sasha, my darling, sweet daughter, a blessing from above.
I was bright red, mostly from embarrassment at Dad's flattering words, but Eva didn't look happy at all.
Hello, daddies. Everything. Your dad always talks about you.
Hello, Eva. Welcome to our home.
Okay, I have to meet a client right now. Sasha, be a dear and show Eva around, okay?
Sure. Dad leaned in and pecked Eva on the cheek, and when he leaned in to peck me too, Eva suddenly threw an arm around me.
I can't wait for you and I to bond.
Dad left, and I took Sasha to the guest room. Dad and her weren't married yet, so she was still officially just a guest. Here's your room.
It's nice. There's yours.
I pointed over to mine, and in a flash, Eva was in my room with her luggages and unpacking.
Oh, this room of yours is much more lovely and spacious. Let's room together.
You rather share a room than have yours?
Of Of course! I want to spend every precious second knowing my stepdaughter-to-be.
I liked my privacy a lot, so even though I did want to bond with her, I completely disliked the idea of sharing my room with her. She was still practically a stranger for Pete's sake. So when Dad arrived, I kind of complained to him so that he could talk her out of it. But when he did, Eva brought on the waterworks.
I was just trying to be a good stepmom!
At the sight of her tears, Dad turned 180 degrees on me.
Oh, Sasha, you promised to welcome her with all your heart.
But Dad!
Look, your room is big enough for 2 people, but if you don't want to share, you can take the one we prepared for her instead.
I was so mad at Dad for the unfair judgment, but just so I won't appear like the bad guy, I let her have her way. And it was the worst night ever. Eva took up all the bed space, shoving me into a corner where I fell off several times. I was forced to spend the rest of the night in the guest room. Soon, it became obvious that Eva didn't like me. She kept doing things to annoy me, using my stuff without my permission, clinging to Dad whenever he was around so I wouldn't even have a chance to talk to him. But Dad was so head over heels, I didn't know how to prove to him that Eva was a bit troublesome. One time, I had some of my friends over for a movie. We were in the middle of watching it when Eva strolled in dressed in yoga pants and switched the channel.
Eva, we were just watching a movie.
And I want to watch a free yoga class.
Yoga? Who does yoga in the evening?
Me!
Seeing that Eva was out to quarrel, my friends left and I was so enraged.
Eva, what is wrong with you? I try to be good and polite, but you're really pushing it.
Oh, I'm only just getting started, honey.
Her response pushed me off the edge.
Thanks for the heads up. Now I just have to make sure you won't ever become Dad's wife.
Good luck with that.
That was how Operation Get Eva Out started. First, I had to get evidence to show Dad that Eva was far from the angel he thought he had found. So when she left for a stroll with Dad one weekend, I snuck into the room she snatched from me to find something that could implicate her. But instead, I found something that confused me. In one of her bags, I was shocked to see the same picture of Dad with a red-haired girl, but in print only. There were other pictures, and they all had my dad in them from that time up until now. There was even several pictures where I was present too.
Oh my God, how does she have all these pictures?
At the sound of Eva and Dad returning, I rushed out of the room before I could get caught. I couldn't tell what Eva's possession of all those pictures meant. Maybe she was a crazy fan of Dad? Perhaps a stalker? Neither sounded good. The next evening, I decided to show Dad the pictures and see if he could make sense of them. But before I could knock, Dad came out grinning like he won the lottery.
Sasha, just who I wanted to see. Guess what? There's a national racing competition coming up, and your school just informed me that they would like you to represent them.
Yeah! Best news ever!
The winner is getting a scholarship through any university of her choice and a huge cash prize. I know you're going to break a leg. Break a leg indeed. Let me see that. Ha! National Olympics! There's no way a newbie like you is going to win. Sasha is a really good athlete. She can win.
Even if I don't win, it's just a big opportunity to do what I love on a national scale. Winning is just an extra.
Really? We'll see.
I really meant what I said then, but it didn't stop me from working hard for the competition. Eva would always come around to watch me, and I just ignored her. Even the pictures I wanted to show Dad took a back seat in the meantime. As a morale boost, Dad ordered me a beautiful pair of trainers, and I was surprised to see them in Eva's hands just a day to the competition.
Hey, what are you doing with my shoes?
Oh, I just cleaned them for you.
They're new. They don't need cleaning.
I think I owe you an apology for how I've been treating you. Please forgive me.
My jaw dropped when she went down on her knees.
That's okay. Please get up now.
We'll be besties from now on.
Sounds great.
Though I said that, I was still suspicious of the sudden change. So when she left, I quickly peeked inside the shoes to see if she had somehow put any booby trap inside to ruin my day tomorrow. But it was all clear. Had she really turned a new leaf? The next day, Dad and Eva accompanied me to the competition arena, and I changed into the sports gear. My shoes felt strange as I walked, but I chalked it up to being paranoid since I saw Eva with them. I should have paid more attention though, because the second the whistle blew and we took off, I had barely taken a step forward when I slipped and fell smack to the ground. Dad, Eva, and many others were around me in seconds, but I could barely talk with the pain in my ankle.
Her ankle might be fractured. She needs to go to the hospital now.
They helped me up, and with one look at Eva's smirking face, I knew she had done something.
Oh, There's no way she can run now. Of course, let's just take her to the hospital.
Wait! I raised my foot and looked at the sole of my shoes. And just as suspected, I saw that all the grooves had been sanded off. It hadn't occurred to me to check the sole yesterday. Now it was so smooth, there couldn't be any friction between it and the ground. That's why I fell.
Whoa! What kind of person made these terrible shoes? I'm going to sue the company!
I knew exactly why my shoes were that way, but I bit my tongue for the meantime. Leaving the competition meant Eva had won, and I wouldn't give her that satisfaction. So I pulled off my shoes, and everyone watched in shock as I walked back to the line.
Sasha, what are you doing? You're limping.
Without looking back, I took off running. Well, more like limping. The stadium went quiet as they watched me, and when the other athletes began to cross the finish line while I kept going, they went wild cheering for me.
Can you believe it? Sasha Chin, our youngest competitor, continues barefoot despite her injury. This is record-breaking.
Of course, I didn't win. In fact, I came in last place. But that day, I was hailed an inspiration to all for not giving up till the finish line, and that alone made me so happy. Bitterness was written all over Eva's face when I finally met up with them.
Honey, that was so reckless of you, but oh my god, you're so awesome!
Thanks, Dad. Now, Eva, what moved you to eliminate the grooves in my shoes? And don't try to deny it. I have a live picture of how those shoes were before you ruined it. That was a lie, but I just had to make Eva confess.
What? Eva, you did what? Oh, stop flapping your mouth like a dumb fish. You go on and on about your perfect daughter who is great at sports. How dare you after you ruined my own career? 26 years ago, if only you paid attention and caught me, I wouldn't be limping. Wait, you're Harley?
Dad and I watched in horror as Eva pulled off her wig, revealing bright red hair like the girl in the picture from Dad's ice skating days.
Correct. All this has been a well-staged arrangement to get back at you for ruining my life, for failing to catch me.
While she was ranting, I noticed Aunt Vanya come up behind her, holding a recorder and asking me to be quiet. I had invited her to the competition, and though she was late, I couldn't think of any better timing.
But that wasn't my fault. You were so desperate to win, you insisted on that risky stunt. Whatever. I just hope your daughter's limp is permanent. If that's so, then forget her showy display today. Her career would be over, like mine was.
I wonder what the police would say about everything you just confessed to.
I don't see anyone calling the police. Your word against mine, honey.
Eva turned white when she saw my aunt waiting for her with a glare and holding up a recorder.
Your confession is on record. You're under arrest, ma'am.
While Eva was arrested, I finally let Dad take me to the hospital so my ankle could be checked. I had just suffered a minor sprain and would be fine in days. Better yet, though I came in last place, everyone at the stadium had voted for me to return for the next round in a few weeks if the doctor gave me the clear.
So Harley is why you quit skating, huh?
Yes. To impress, she was always coming up with moves that were very risky. What happened to Harley was an accident, but it shook me up so badly I quit. I'm so sorry I didn't tell you or listen to you.
It's okay, Dad. You were in love. Guess that's what they mean when they say love is blind, right?
That's the last woman for me, Sasha.
Oh, come on, Dad, don't worry. You'll still find her one day. The woman that will be your missing rib, and maybe your left kidney too.
I've missed you, honey. You're the greatest love of all.
With my consent, Dad dropped the charges against Eva, aka Harley, so she could go her way in peace, and we went back to the good old days of just the two of us. I learned the importance of not keeping secrets in the family, and I hope one day to inspire more young people to never give up doing what they love, even when there are obstacles.
Hi, I'm Ada from Nigeria. Ever since I was a little girl, I loved working on cars with Grandpa.
Want to give this one a try?
Sure. Grandpa, this is so cool. I want to build cars one day and—
Build cars? Ew, that's not a girl's job. That was my Aunt Chi. I was raised by her alongside her own daughter June after I lost my parents.
If that is what she wants to be, then you have no right to stop her. The sky is her starting point.
I felt grateful for Grandpa. He always believed in me, unlike Aunt who always tried to make my life miserable. Like this one time my Aunt's daughter June and I were playing outside. We had so much fun playing mud. But when Aunt came out, she went ballistic when she saw how messed up our clothes were. I bet this was all Ada's idea. June, if you continue to follow this rotten girl around, your future will be nothing but a dark shadow.
But Mom, it was my idea to make sand cakes. Please don't blame Ada.
Oh, please, June. Stop making excuses for her. She has always been nothing but trouble.
Why do you not like me, Aunt? I did nothing wrong. Don't worry about my mom, Ada. I think my mom is just jealous her dad likes you more than her.
June always knew how to cheer me up and would sometimes defend me from her mom. But by the time we hit puberty, June began to change. All she could talk about all day was boys and her looks. What do you think about my hair? And look at the lipstick my mom got me. And guess who asked me out today? There's more to life than boys, you know. Why do you always have to be so boring? Thanks to her mom's influence, June was becoming increasingly mean, and I was getting the brunt of it. One day when we were 14, we were on our way to church when June suddenly let out a scream. Ah, I forgot to put on my earrings! I'm sure you can survive today without it.
That's why you'll never make it in life. You are fashion blind. Now go get her earrings.
But our house is so far away now, and it's raining.
I said hurry up!
Aunt Chi made me trek all the way back home in the rain for a freaking pair of earrings. I came back drenched and so had to wait outside the church till the program was over. I was so mad at her and June. You made me walk back in the rain for this! Sorry, I just can't do without them. June might have had the ball in the court when at home, but at school, I stayed top of my class. But June kept flunking her classes up to 12th grade because she was too pretty to read. But her mom didn't seem to mind. My teacher said I may not graduate high school at this rate.
You don't need good grades when you're this pretty. One day, one rich dude will sweep you off your feet and you won't have to suffer.
You should be telling her to read hard so she can find a good job and be rich herself.
Oh, shut up, grease monkey.
I couldn't wait to be free of those two and their low mentality. One Saturday, I accompanied June to go do her hair, and on our way there, we saw a guy strumming along on his guitar with a money bowl that only had chewing gum in it.
Wise men say only fools rush in.
Despite his ragged dreads and outfit, I could see the guy was handsome, but I also noticed he had eyes for June. The moment we were about to pass, he jumped before us and continued singing.
But I can't help falling in love with you.
Hi, beautiful. Are you an electrician? Because you definitely lit up my day now.
Are you blind? You see a hot bod like this, and you assume I am an electrician? It means he likes you.
Yeah, seriously. You're like an angel. Can I just have your number?
He gave her a piece of paper with a pen. June took the paper and spat on it, then gave it back to him. You're cute, but that's what I think of broke guys like you. Find a girl your class. That's rude. June walked away without an apology, and I felt so bad for the guy. Look, nice song there. I don't have money now, but maybe I can treat you to lunch tomorrow to apologize on my sister's behalf. I gave him my grandpa's business card.
Thanks.
I didn't expect he would take me up on my offer, but the next day, Grandpa and I were working on a truck when we started hearing someone playing on a guitar. It was the guitar guy from yesterday.
Hey, remember me?
Of course I remember you. A little. I realized then that I was covered in grease and wanted to disappear. I don't always look this dirty.
We have a saying that dirty-looking people are the richest. So what I am seeing on you is money, not dirt.
What?
I'm Austin.
Austin was all shades of sweet, and soon him coming over to the garage became a custom. He would keep me company with some jokes, music, or juicy gossip. Although I loved his melodious voice, sometimes I tried to persuade him to make better use of his time here, but he wouldn't listen.
No. Working with my hands is not my calling, only singing.
So you want to be a singer?
Yup. And when I make it as a big star, I'm gonna credit my first music to you.
Though he talked a lot, he hardly said anything about his family, but I soon found out why. A few days to Christmas, we hung out at a lake resort. So, what are your plans for Christmas?
Christmas is for people who have family.
Wait, Austin, you don't have a family? Where do you live?
Nope, no family, and I live there.
Austin pointed at the city's bridge that was a bit in the distance and smiled sadly.
That's my home, Ada, under that bridge.
My heart broke for him that day, and I invited him over to Aunt's place for Christmas dinner. It was the only time she was at her nicest, but I made the big mistake of forgetting to tell her beforehand. Christmas came, and just as we had settled down for dinner, Austin arrived. Aunt Chi, I'm so sorry that I forgot to tell you that I invited my friend. Please meet Austin. This penniless wannabe musician is your friend? June, be nice. Austin doesn't have a family to celebrate Christmas with.
Is that so? Oh, Austin, come in and sit.
I sighed in relief at Aunt's friendly tone, but tensed again when I saw her pass a knowing look at June.
Thank you for having me.
What will you have, dear? There's fried rice, chicken, meat pie, and juice.
Anything, really.
To my horror, she picked up a plate with a dishing spoon and began to scoop nothing into the plate while June giggled like a maniac.
That's fried rice, chicken, meat pie, and orange juice. Enjoy.
I felt myself boil in anger. You can have mine.
No thanks.
Austin insisted that he go home, and when he left, I went off at Aunt and June. This is just too much. Are poor people worms to you? You don't respect even your own dad.
Don't yell at me, you ungrateful worm. You have some guts bringing in that stinky brat here.
I didn't see Austin again for about 3 days, but when I did, I was surprised to see him all smiles. Austin, what's going on?
I won a local music competition. A foreign music agency wants me over in the US to sign me up. I will be leaving early next year.
You're going to the USA?
I told you I was gonna make it big.
He was so excited, and I was happy for him, but I was going to miss him. On New Year's Eve, we met again at the bridge for the last time before he traveled, and somehow the atmosphere was just thick. I'll miss you, Austin. He looked at me and our faces grew closer together, and just as the fireworks ensuing the new year went off, Austin gave me a light kiss. It was like fireworks went off in my heart.
Then wait for me. I'll come back.
I did wait, but I made sure to keep busy. With my savings and Grandpa's support, I pursued my dream course, automotive technology, in a university, while June became a model. 3 years passed and I began to lose hope of ever seeing Austin again. But one day while I was home trying to complete a project, June suddenly let out a scream. I rushed out to see her. June, what's going on? Look who's on the television! It was Austin on TV being interviewed. He was now a big star and was coming back to Nigeria for a concert. Mom, I have to go to that concert. He's rich now. I have to see him.
Yes, you'll go, June. Use your charm. Beg his forgiveness.
Seriously? Because he's popular now? That's the same guy you humiliated 4 years ago. It made me so mad to have to go to the concert with June, but I had to see Austin. The concert hall was packed with people, and then Austin appeared on stage. Oh my God! Is that him? He looks like a demigod! He really did. I had to stop myself from drooling the way June was. His singing threw the crowd in a frenzy, and when he finished, I snuck backstage so I could see him. I found a door wide open, and when I looked in, Austin was in the room, but so was June, and she was all over him. I realized I was so wrong, and I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.
You're the one who took my breath away the very first time I saw you. Of course I forgive you.
What's going on here?
Oh, Mary, right?
Wait, you don't know my name again? You told me to wait for you after you kissed me.
Oh, did I? Well, that kiss was a spur-of-the-moment action, you know. June and I make a better couple. She's a model, and I'm a singer. You're just a mechanic. Nah, won't work.
Ew, I'm grossed out just thinking about it. Wait, do you even remember how she treated you?
Because I was poor, but now I am rich and can get anything I want, including her. See?
Angry tears filled my eyes, but I forced them back because Austin didn't deserve them. The insensitive moron went ahead to try and kiss June in my presence, so I took off my shoes to throw at his head, but they hit June instead. Ouch! My head! It hurts! I guess the shoe decided you deserved it more. Austin had his security kick me out, and when June later came home, she told Aunt I had attacked her, and Aunt threw out my things.
We can't accommodate an enemy of progress like you in our house.
Well, I can't stand to live with shallow people like you anymore. And good luck with Austin. You're two stupid people that deserve each other. I moved into Grandpa's garage, and he welcomed me warmly.
Stay as long as you'd like. Honestly, I am impressed you tolerated your Aunt Chi this long. She's my daughter, but I can't stand her.
Austin and June's betrayal still hurt, but I pushed on. And one day, my life completely changed. I was returning from the grocery store one day when I saw a brand new Chevrolet parked on the roadside with several mechanics all over it. Hey, what's going on here?
The owner got it from her husband, took it for a drive today, and it just broke down. No one has been able to fix it, and she doesn't trust any mechanic to take it to his workshop.
I approached one of the mechanics, and when I told him I would love to take a look at the car...
You? Come, guys, back off. This little girl says she could fix what 5 men can't.
All eyes were on me as I popped the hood. It was the longest 20 minutes of my life, but I soon found the fault and the car roared with life. The men were gaping when I came out of the car, and a reporter rushed towards me.
Hello, ma'am. Please tell us your name and how you managed to fix this car these men had been working on for hours.
I have lifelong experience fixing cars. If you want to know more, you can visit my garage. I gave the reporter my card and ran away from all the curious eyes. The next morning, our garage was swamped with drivers wanting their cars serviced. The video of me fixing the car had gone viral, and almost everyone wanted me to become their car mechanic. In just a few days, I got enough money to expand Grandpa's garage, hire some workers, and buy a cozy house for him and I nearby.
I'm going to leave this world as a happy old man.
Leave this world to where? You're stuck with me, old man. After my graduation and National Youth Service, and I got multiple offers to manage different automobile companies. Life was good, and so busy I almost forgot the people from my past. But one day, I had a rude reminder. I went to a restaurant when I noticed the couple across about to be arrested by security.
We will pay the bill later, my idiot husband.
Your idiot husband? You wasted all my money!
I felt pity for them. How much is their bill? I will pay.
Hey, thank this lady over here. She just paid for your bill.
The couple turned to look at me, and my world froze. It was Austin and June. The sight of them brought back bitter memories, so I stood up to go. I had just reached my car when I heard Austin behind me.
Ada!
What is it?
Wow, you look different, in a good way.
You look different too, but not in a good way. He was so thin and harrowed.
It's all your cousin's fault. She ate all my money and reverted to a nagging crone. Please forgive me. If I leave June, would you marry me?
I saw red. I popped open the bottle of water I had taken from my table and threw it on him. Shame on you, Austin. June is pregnant, for goodness sake. You know what? I should be thankful to her. She saved me from being with a rotten, selfish jerk. I'll not be anybody's second choice, and I won't take leftovers either. I got into my car and drove off, my heart aching for my cousin and the horrible man she had married. Girls, we don't need some prince to rescue us or some rich man to free us from hardship. Work hard, be focused, and you'll see, you'll be your own hero.
Hi, I'm Phoenix. Ever since I was a little girl, I admired my dad because he worked at the US Space Force. Whenever he had time, we would look up at the stars using his telescope.
Look, that's Mars right there. Did you know I went to Mars once and saw a real-life alien? It had green skin and really long fingers.
Wow, I want to go to Mars too!
You will, my love. You will go even beyond that.
Dad was my childhood inspiration, but Mom, who is a housewife, always scolded Dad when he told me alien stories.
You need to stop talking all that garbage to her about aliens. Kids will laugh at her in school.
Sadly, Dad kept harping on about aliens even at his workplace. And without proof to back up his claims, Dad was assumed crazy and fired. If only they knew how wrong they were. Things went sour between my parents after that. They wouldn't even talk to each other directly anymore, even if they were in the same room.
Phoenix, can you ask your mom why there's no food for me?
Mom, why is there no food for Dad?
Tell your dad that he should tell his alien friends to bring him food.
Ugh, Dad, let's just share mine.
Don't worry, I just lost my appetite.
Over time, Dad turned into a shadow of his former self, and the tension between him and Mom just grew worse. I couldn't wait to grow into an adult and move out. To make time fly fast, I buried myself into my studies, and as soon as I graduated high school, I applied for the US Air Force Academy. And with my results, I was invited almost instantly. However, Mom was not happy about it.
You're going down the same path as your dad.
I'm not going there to chase aliens, Mom. I want to protect the country. Plus, if I succeed, Dad might come back to his old self.
Phoenix, leave the protecting our country stuff to the guys. You're a girl, and you're fragile.
Good night, Mom. She did her best to make me change my mind, but I put my feet down and joined the school. I was the only female in my set, and most of the guys laughed when they saw me. Two twin brothers named Monkai and Ponkai were the worst.
Oh, look at the Barbie that wants to fly a spaceship. Not that you look bad in the uniform, but I'm sure you'll look better in a pink princess gown.
Their taunts only fueled me to work twice as hard. And though, in a matter of months, I was beating most of the guys in physical fitness tests, I kept to myself. However, one day, I just lost it. I was heading to class from my dorm one morning when I saw Ponkai and Monkai holding Jake, the most quiet guy in our class, against my locker.
Hey, you two, weren't you taught that people who pick on others are scum? Let him go.
Or what, princess?
I walked right up to my locker and forced it open, smacking Punk Eye in the nose with it.
Oh, my nose! Ouch, didn't see you there.
Monk Eye rushed at me, but even though he was taller, I had him dangling before me in seconds.
Fetch, Punk Eye!
When our instructors came onto the scene, many cadets bore witness to the fact that these twins had always been troublesome. They were tasked with washing the toilets for a whole school year, and I was allowed to go free. I wanted to go my own way, but something about the way Jake was trembling moved me to try and comfort him.
Hey, are you okay? Don't talk to me.
Huh? I just saved you, mister.
Maybe you shouldn't have. This life is all messed up for me anyways.
Whoa, someone was angsty. Well, next time I won't. His attitude annoyed me, as well as made me curious, but I soon discovered what was behind it. Just before we were about to level up from being 4th class cadets, Jake and I were paired to be pilots in test flying a spaceship. I was so excited to finally get in one, but when we entered the cockpit, Jake started shaking like a leaf.
Hey, are you okay? No, this is my worst nightmare!
Flying a spaceship is your worst nightmare? What are you doing in this academy, dude?
I wanted to be a dancer like Michael Jackson, but my dad forced me to join this academy. He just wants me to be a copy of him.
I felt my heart go out to him. I knew firsthand what a pushy parent felt like. It's okay. Look, place your hands over mine. We can do this together. Breathe in and out. Ready, steady, go! We successfully flew the craft around the base and got good marks for the test. Jake was so happy.
Thanks, Phoenix. You're a lifesaver.
After that, we became close friends. He even invited me to his house on his 18th birthday. When I arrived ready to party, I felt myself sweat with how stiff everything was. There was no music, no dancing.
Whoa, Jake, did somebody die?
No, this is how my dad wants it, and I've kind of gotten used to it this way, even when he's not around.
How can you get used to throwing sad parties? Come on, my birthday gift to you is we're gonna dance, baby!
I connected my phone to a Bluetooth speaker, and soon music was blaring from the speakers. I started to dance, and a few others joined me.
Phoenix, I don't think this is a good idea.
You said he's not around, right? Come on, show me those Michael Jackson moves.
I managed to persuade Jake, and soon the guy was rocking on the floor. He was so awesome, everyone stood back to stare at him and clap. Suddenly, the music ended, and we heard a loud crash. The audio speakers had been smashed by an angry-looking man.
What on earth is going on here?
Dad!
That's your dad?
Jake looked ready to pee himself. I looked at the man again and quickly recognized him as one of my dad's former colleagues. They usually went on missions together.
You stupid son! I give you some freedom to throw this party, and you go playing music and dancing like a silly clown?
Party? Was more like a funeral until the music.
What did you say?
With all due respect, sir, Jake only danced. He didn't commit a felony. Besides, he loves to dance. Why don't you let him?
Is that what you go around telling your friends? That's it! Get out, everyone!
I refused to budge, but Jake insisted.
Phoenix, please go. Trust me, my father is powerful enough to kick you out of the academy if you cross him.
Shut me up, and I regretfully left, hoping to see Jake at school and apologize for ruining his party. But when school resumed the following week, Jake didn't return. All attempts to reach him failed, as his number constantly refused to go through. Once I even tried to locate his home again, but I got lost and had to go home. I was so worried about him, and school became lonely for me, but I had no choice than to push on. Years passed, and after my graduation, I was commissioned an officer in the US Space Force. I felt like I had finally arrived. Little did I know that the battle for my dreams was not yet over. On our first day of work, we were all assembled in a large hall for our first assignment.
Welcome, new recruits. The Chief Commanding Officer, Mr. DeVille, will now speak to you all.
But when the Chief Commanding Officer stepped up to the podium, I felt my stomach clench with nerves. It was Jake's dad. With the way he glared at me, I could tell he recognized me. Eeps!
Why are you staring at me?
Sorry, sir.
Who told you to look away?
Huh? Didn't you just—
Who told you to speak? 50 push-ups, now!
What? That's crazy!
Make that an 80.
I dropped to the ground and began to do the push-ups, while my colleagues were assigned missions. By the time I was done, the hall was empty and I hadn't gotten one. I felt so humiliated and angry. I marched to Mr. DeVille's office to tell him that I wouldn't tolerate being treated unfairly. The door was halfway open.
Excuse me, sir?
My eyes popped at the sight of Jake in his father's office.
Phoenix!
Jake!
Before any of us could say anything else, we heard the sound of someone coming in, and Jake grabbed my hand and rushed us out of the office to another empty one.
Jake, why are we hiding? No, where have you been all this while?
After my birthday incident, Dad had me transferred to another Air Force academy in another country. Oh, Jake, I am so sorry. It's all my fault. Don't be, Phoenix. The only thing painful about it was how much I missed you.
Thanks to how clueless I was with romance, I didn't understand then the strange flutter in my tummy at his soft-spoken words.
I'm here now.
Yes, you are.
Seeing Jake again, I forgot all about my anger at his dad as we spent a lot of time talking. But over time, my excitement with our reunion dulled in the face of Mr. DeVille's continuous letdown. Instead of assigning me the work I had trained for, he kept sending me on petty errands that were downright insulting.
Onions, shaving stick? Wait, you want me to go shopping for you?
Isn't that what ladies are for?
I'll have you know, sir, that I am here based on pure merit. Being female doesn't make me handicapped.
But being Barnes' daughter does.
Wait, all this while you recognized me? I thought you were my dad's friend. Why are you treating me this way?
Who knows if his craziness is hereditary? That's why I can't send you on missions. Maybe you could be my personal office cleaner instead.
Don't call my dad crazy! Keep your list!
Dad's condition was always a sensitive issue for me, and finding out Mr. DeVille was judging me based on that turned my emotions upside down, and for the first time in years, I broke down and cried. Just then, someone took my hand.
Phoenix, stop crying. I heard everything.
Your dad is a mountain I can't defeat!
About that, Phoenix, there's something I want to show you.
Jake took me out to a restaurant downtown, and he showed me pictures he had taken from his dad's diary. In it were several mentions of how jealous he was of my dad's career success.
From what I gathered, your dad was on the verge of becoming the chief commander before he was accused of going bananas.
Accused? Actually, my dad is a bit banana.
No. After reading Dad's diary, I have my suspicions that my dad did something that made your dad think he saw an alien. I have no idea what. I have searched the whole house for it, but we may find something in his office.
Jake, if this is true, it could mean big trouble for your dad.
Your happiness means the most to me, Phoenix.
Jake's revelation made me furious with Mr. DeVille. I had to find out if he was right, and there was only one way to have access to his father's office without being suspicious. The next day, I stood waiting for Jake's dad at the door of his office.
Yes? What?
If I become your personal office cleaner for 7 days, sir, would you consider me for missions?
I might.
Then yes, I will be your personal cleaner.
He quickly handed me the keys, and I got down to work, searching for clues as I cleaned. 4 days flew, and there was nothing I could find. On the 5th day, I was on the verge of giving up.
What a waste of time! Ugh.
I placed my hand over a spot in the wall to catch my breath, and nearly jumped in fright when I accidentally hit a lever, and a floor tile opened.
What in the world?
When I looked in, I saw a strange green costume. Dad's words from years ago echoed in my head as I stared at it.
It had green skin and really long fingers.
What Dad thought was an alien was only Jake's dad wearing an alien costume. I stuffed the costume in my bag, arranged the office as it should, and snuck away to meet Jake. Together, we drove straight to my parents' home. Dad was sitting on the porch when I arrived.
Dad, did the alien you saw years ago resemble anything like this?
Dad was shocked when I showed him the costume and told him how I found it.
The day I saw that alien on Mars, Mr. DeVille was my partner as usual and had excused himself to check something. He came back some time after that alien disappeared. It was him then! He dressed up in this to fool you! I knew he was always jealous of my success, but to go this far just to kick me out.
Mom came in just then, and her expression looked like she heard it all.
To think we all thought you were mad when you were only tricked. You have to make an entry with the authorities right now.
It had to be the first time in years she spoke directly to Dad.
All right, let's go.
Dad reported to his former superiors, and they promised to look into the matter. Hoping that Mr. DeVille still had an atom of humanity left in him, I endured the 2 days left of our bargain in hopes that he will stick to it. But when the time was up, he wasn't willing to budge.
You said after 7 days you would let me go on missions.
I said I might, not will.
I've had enough. I'm going to write a report of your maltreatment.
And who would believe you?
I do. I am a witness, in fact.
The daughter of a crazy man and my idiot son are nothing against me. I am the authority here. Got it?
A group of men walked in just then, and amongst them was...
Not anymore, Mr. DeVille. Or should I say, Mr. Devil.
Dad!
That costume, pal?
Think twice next time you tell your enemy's daughter to take care of your personal space.
Jake's father was arrested right there, and Dad was reappointed as space officer in his place. As for Jake, with his father out of the way, he quit the force to pursue his dreams as a professional dancer. One day, he asked me out to a beautiful nature park, and I wore the prettiest dress in my possession for the occasion. Don't ask me why.
You seem like the kind of girl that would punch me if I tell you how pretty you look right now.
Because I'm part of the force? Come on, I'm still a girl at heart.
So, you wouldn't punch me either if I kiss you?
He drew closer, and I felt my whole face go red.
What's happening to my face?
You're blushing. Your face is all red.
I don't blush. I'm an officer. Make it go away.
There is only one remedy.
Jake kissed me just then, and instead of the stupid blush going away,
No, you just made it worse.
You've no romantic bone in your body.
Jake and I started dating, and my parents loved each other again. Dad and I even went on missions together. Life was good. I learned that trials are a part of life. It comes in different ways, but if we don't give up, we will overcome it and come out even stronger.
Hi, my name is Yolanda, and I'm from Australia. I was born with a beautiful flame-like birthmark on my face. Mom told me that God took more time to create me because I was that special. But what confused me was that she always made me cover up my birthmark with makeup. It's just track practice, Mom. Is this really necessary? Yes, honey. It's to protect you from people who stare too much. I went along with what Mom said, and even though I always covered up my birthmark, she made me feel like the most beautiful girl in the world. I loved her to bits, and we had a very strong bond. But sometimes seeing the kids in school with their fathers made me jealous and curious about mine. Mom, why don't I have a dad? He left us years ago. Why? It doesn't matter. You have me now. Mom avoided the topic of my father like the plague, and one day I found out why in the form of a letter showing that I was adopted. You weren't supposed to see that. See what? Adoption papers saying a Frankie Brentwood is my mom and not you? I am your mom. A piece of paper shouldn't matter. If it didn't, why were you hiding it then? Mom couldn't explain, so I dashed up to my room and shut the doors in anger. Curious, I browsed up my birth mother and discovered she came from a wealthy real estate family in England. There was an old family photo of a man with my birthmark holding a woman. She had a child with my birthmark in her arm, Anastasia. I think that was me and my birth parents. I saw my father's number on the site and immediately called but received no response, so I decided to leave a voicemail. Hello there. I'm Yolanda. Sorry, Anastasia, and I'm your daughter. Mom's knock sounded on the door, interrupting me, and I accidentally sent the voicemail before I could even finish. Honey, please let me in. I wanted to stay angry at her, but I just couldn't. Fine, you can come in. I'm so sorry. I was scared I'd lose you. Her eyes were so sad and I felt really bad. It's okay. I just wished you didn't hide the letter from me. As I talked to Mom, my phone beeped loudly. It was my father.
Anastasia.
Father? Instead of a response, he breathed loudly, and then the line went dead. That was weird. You called your birth father? Mama's face blanched as she began pacing my room, looking really scared. Her behavior was creeping me out. I didn't mean to call him without letting you know. Listen to me, we don't have time. Pack all your things into a suitcase. Mom left my room in a rush, and I was so confused. Suddenly, I heard the sound of vehicles horning. When I looked out through the window, I found 3 dark-tinted cars parked in front of the house and some men coming out of it. Mom ran into my room and grabbed my arm. Come on, honey, forget about the bags. Before I could do anything, 2 men burst through the door and each grabbed me and Mom, but Mom flung out a pepper spray from her bag and sprayed it at her attacker, making him drop her. Then she ran for the windows and before she leapt out, turned around to me and said, "Never trust these people no matter what." Who was this woman? I was placed into the back seat of a car without a single word. I immediately started to struggle with its doors, which to my disappointment were locked. My heart rate spiked as the car began to move. What was happening? Hey, where are you taking me to? I yelled at the driver in the front seat, but he simply plugged in his earbuds and ignored me until we reached our destination, which to my shock was the airport. When I got out of the car, I spotted a helicopter and my father climbing out of it. He walked up to me and scrubbed at my face hard, revealing my birthmark, which was identical to the one on his face.
Bless my soul. It's really you in the flesh, Anastasia.
Hey, first your men treat me like a thief, and now you're hugging me without explaining why you gave me away and never bothered to check on me for years?
I'm sorry about my men. I'll deal with them. Also, I wanted to check on you, but that child thief hid you away from me. She covered your birthmark to make you unrecognizable and changed your name.
Child thief? You liar. I saw the adoption papers.
Believe me, it was a difficult choice. When we were threatened by bad men years ago, your mother and I had no choice but to entrust you to our servants' care. We signed adoption papers just in case, and when we felt safe, we asked for you. but she ran away with you.
That was a lot to take in. I'd stayed with adoptive mom for years, and I didn't know she could do such a thing. How did you finally find me?
I traced your call.
He suddenly grabbed my shoulders and gave me an intense look.
Listen, I want you to promise me that you'll let me know if you ever see that child thief again.
If he was speaking the truth, then it was what Mom deserved.
Come on, I have a lot to show you.
He pulled me towards the helicopter and I followed him quietly, curious to learn about my real background. The next day, we landed at a mansion, and holy smokes, it was big!
Welcome to your home. You can be yourself here. No need for makeup.
Hearing that was a relief. As we walked in, we met a lot of servants and security greeting us as if we were royalty. After passing by everyone, I noticed there wasn't any trace of my birth mom. So, where's Mother?
She traveled out of the country for a while, but she really wanted to see you. Did she ever reach out?
No, sadly.
She will. If she does, let me know.
That was an odd request. She was his wife. Wasn't he supposed to have a clue about her reaching out? Maybe I was overthinking.
Please, show my daughter to her room. She must be tired.
I was shown into a really big room, and even though I could finally be myself here without all the makeup, I felt like a huge part of me was missing. Mom. I missed her, and despite what Father said about her, I wanted to know what her past was like in mansion with the maids. Hey, how long have you been working here?
20 years.
Great. That means you must have known my mom. Adoptive mom, I mean. She's this tall, has green eyes, dark hair, brown skin.
Never seen anyone like that in the 20 years I've worked here.
No matter how many servants I asked about Mom, they all gave me the same answer. I started becoming a little suspicious about my father's side of the story. So one day when I decided to ask about my birth mom, I instinctively knew that something was wrong with what he told me. Gee, I wonder where the mistress of the house is.
Ask the master.
The servants avoided the topic of my birth mom like it was fire, and they always stood in corners whispering whenever I wasn't around. I commenced a small investigation around the house, starting with Father's office, which he always locked up, but I had a plan. Father, good luck at work today. As I hugged him, I slipped his office keys from his pocket, and he didn't even notice.
Thanks, I guess. I'm in a rush. See you later.
After he left, I made sure the hallway was clear before I opened the door to his office and slipped inside. I snooped around and found the most shocking, unexpected thing. Old pictures of my birth mom and adoptive mom. Mom had been right. I couldn't trust Father. He was hiding stuff away from me just like her. Right now, I was the only one I could trust. As I stared at the photos, an arrow whizzed past my ear. Then a ninja jumped in through the open windows and pinned me to the ground.
You're not Williams Brentwood.
Nice observation, Sherlock. Get off me. As I struggled with the ninja on top of me, another jumped in and kicked him off me. I watched with fear as they engaged in a fight before one of them dropped down, a needle poking his hip. OMG, did you kill him?
What? No, I only tranquilized him.
He took off his mask, revealing a really handsome face.
Yolanda, right?
How did you know my name?
Listen, that's not important right now. We don't have much time. That man was here for your father, who's unfortunately gathered a lot of enemies because he's a bad person.
I was so confused. First, Mom was bad, and now Father?
I'm Scott, a private detective. I know you won't believe me, but your mom's employed me, and they've been really worried about you.
They're together? Before he could say anything, loud footsteps began to approach the office.
Someone's coming. Give me a minute.
He ran over to a safe in the wall and typed in some numbers. As soon as it opened, he grabbed the papers and envelopes that were inside, and suddenly, a loud alarm began to sound. I'm not going anywhere with you. I don't even know you.
If you want to see your moms, come with me.
I'd give anything to see them, so when Scott jumped over the window, I decided to trust my guts and follow him. There was more to this I still needed to understand. We ran far away from the mansion and found ourselves in a bunker after a few hours. When Scott wasn't watching, I grabbed a tranquilizer from his bag and sneaked up behind him. Do not move or I'll tranquilize you and take you to my father. I'm tired of being lied to and kept in the dark, and I need answers to my questions.
Everything I said is true.
What were those papers you stole from the safe?
Architect blueprints belonging to your adoptive mother.
I don't understand.
She worked as a property developer for your dad's real estate firm years ago. And when she landed $1 billion job to design a hotel, he stole it all from her. Her blueprints, everything.
I had no idea Mom had been an architect. She never discussed her job with me, but what does all this have to do with me?
Your birth mom and adoptive mom were close friends. They planned to sue your dad, but he found out. They had to go into hiding. Your birth mom gave you to your adoptive mom, making it harder for your dad to find you. If he did, he'd use you to lure her out of hiding.
All the information was hard to process. My entire life felt like one lie after another. I'm sorry about threatening you.
No hard feelings. You deserve to know the truth. You should rest. Tomorrow you'll meet your moms, and they'll tell you everything.
I slumped onto the bed and drifted into a long, uncomfortable sleep. I couldn't tell what more discoveries awaited me the next day, but I was looking forward to them. The next morning, I woke up to the most unexpected news.
After what happened last night, your father marked us as wanted criminals. It's all over the news.
Jeez, we even had a bounty of $10,000 on our heads for details of our whereabouts. I couldn't believe my father. He was such a monster.
Switch off your phone immediately. He might call you to track us.
What should we do now?
We'll sneak out tonight in disguises.
Scott and I dressed up in perfect disguises later that night. He looked lovely as a girl, but the dress was so ridiculous on him that I nearly burst out laughing.
Never breathe a word of this to anybody.
We got on a train from London to Paris, and in a few hours, we were at our destination, my mom's house. When the door cracked open, I realized how nervous I was to see them.
OMG, baby, you're back. I missed you so much.
I've missed you too, Mom. As soon as I finished hugging Mom, I faced my birth mom, and she looked so happy to see me.
Anastasia, you're so grown, my baby girl. I don't know if you can ever forgive me.
There's nothing to forgive, Mom. You were only trying to protect me from Father.
Yes, sweet girl, I was. He's a monster.
Then why did you marry him?
Because of a business deal he had with my parents. I never loved him. I loved her.
Holy freaking meatballs! My two moms were dating!
When I worked for him, he scammed me and we realized what he was up to. We threatened to report his crimes, which drove him crazy. We had to go into hiding.
I'm really sorry you went through that, Moms.
It's fine. We had each other. I kept you in my girlfriend's care because you'd be safer with her. It was dangerous for us all to stay together and your dad would never suspect you were with her. I'm sorry I made you hide your birthmark. It's really beautiful. I just didn't want your dad to ever find us.
I don't care. I'm just happy to have you two as my moms.
We still have to look at this.
That's all my hard work he stole away. And the piece of evidence we need to finally land him in jail, honey.
We relocated into the house and hatched a plan to land Dad in jail. I'll go to the cops with the evidence tomorrow while you two stay here and remain safe, okay?
Hey, what about me?
You've done too much for us already.
Not enough, apparently. Your father deserves jail, and you need a partner to watch your back, just in case.
Seeing the seriousness on Scott's face made me feel butterflies in my belly. It was a new feeling I couldn't understand, but I think I was starting to grow a crush on him. Fine, you can come. Do we still need a disguise?
Nope, I don't think we're wanted criminals in Paris.
If only we knew how wrong we were. We got to the station the next morning, and while speaking to the clerk, Scott and I found posters of our faces in the bulletin board.
Just wait here. I'll get the superintendent.
As soon as the officer left, we turned around and ran like our lives depended on it. It was time to turn to a second plan, a lawsuit. My mom sued Father, and during the hearing, a lot of people my dad stole from showed up as witnesses because of my mom's courage. The court considered all the evidence against him and finally reached a decision.
Williams Brentwood, you have been found guilty of fraud, theft, and abuse of authority.
The news about my father's arrest spread like wildfire, and his assets were shared amongst all his victims. My birth mom got his mansion, and my adoptive mom received the proceeds from the hotel he used her blueprint for. Together, we all moved into the mansion, and it was the best thing ever. But something was missing. Scott. Ever since my father's arrest, he suddenly disappeared. But one day while I was dressing up in my room, an arrow whizzed past my ear.
Whoever you are, show yourself.
A ninja jumped in and I almost kicked him, but then he took his mask off and my face lit up.
Missed me?
So much. Why did you leave without saying anything?
I was scared to face my feelings, but for months, I couldn't stop thinking about you. I like you, Yolanda.
Even without makeup?
You're the most beautiful person inside and out. I've never met anyone as brave as you are.
Geez, me too. Come here. I learned a little more about myself during my discoveries. There's nothing more beautiful than confidence. Smile, shine, and keep your head up.